Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and the Godot game engine has definitely come a long way over the last couple of years, but what has kind of lacked is those marquee titles made with it. There have definitely been some successful titles made with the Godot game engine, and we're getting more and more of them every day. Titles such as Brotato. This has definitely sold pretty well. It is a popular enough title. It has good reviews. It is very well received. As you can see by the fact it's got 30,000 English reviews, it's obviously had decent sales there. Another title in a similar vein is Cassette Beast. Again, well received, but not exactly like chart topping. It's not something that your mom and dad may have heard of, I guess I'd say. Unless, of course, your mom and dad are avid indie gamers. Then another one we've got is Dome Keeper. Same deal. Popular enough title, but not a chart topper. We also have another weird one. This one is like a meme title that became super popular, and that is Cruelty Squad, but nobody is going to mistake Cruelty Squad for a, well, it's a one-of-a-kind title. But anyways, I talk about all this today because this has just changed. There was a very high-profile title just launched, created using the Godot game engine, and the developers behind that have decided to pay it forward. So, if you take a look at Steam charts right now, this is the tracking of the most popular games on Steam. We've got it in two categories. Top selling, so those are in terms of making money, and top played. That is an active player count that are logged into Steam playing this title. And if you take a look here, number 4 in the most played at 322,000 active users is Slate Aspire 2. And I own this. I own Slate Aspire 1. I own Slate Aspire 2. And I have to say, yeah, I have played many, many hours of this game. Another thing is, if you actually look at the money side of things, you'll also notice it's here as well. We got to go and drill down a little bit, but you'll find Slate Aspire is currently the 8th best-selling title, and that's down 5 spots. So it used to be the 3rd best-selling title, and I got to point something else out here. Free to play, free to play, free to play, free to play. So realistically, it is the 4th best-selling game that's actually sold and not microtransaction held. So that is very impressive. Now, the funny thing here is, if you scroll down just a little bit more, the 11th best-selling game on Steam right now is Road to Vostok, which has just been released in early access as well. This is another Godot-powered game. So right now, we have almost 2 out of 10 in, 2 games out of the top 10 right now on Steam. And if you drop the free-to-play, they've got 2 in the top 5. That is super impressive. Same thing here in terms of, again, actively played. It's right up there as well. I don't think Vostok is nearly as high on the list. I think it's on here somewhere, but again, nowhere near as high up as Slate Aspire 2 is. But regardless, having 2 of the top-selling Steam games right now, that is a super impressive thing, especially when, Counter-Strike 2 is pretty much permanently there, and did over like Warframe and so on. So that is a big deal. Now, the funny thing about both of these titles, so we got Road to Vostok, if you're wondering. This is like a kind of, I believe it's like an extraction shooter meets Stalker. I think it's set in Finland. This has a bit of a history. And then we've got this guy here, Slate Aspire 2. This is a card deck builder. And again, this game, I highly recommend you do not play it if you want to get anything done in your life. My play time is probably around the 80-hour mark, mostly with Silent, I might actually point out. But this is, again, a super successful title. And those 2 titles have something in common. So it was made with Slate Aspire 2 using Godot, and this all came about because of this. It had been in development using Unity. By the way, you might be thinking Slate Aspire 1 was made with Unity, but it actually wasn't. Slate Aspire 1 was actually made with the Java library libgdx, of which I was also a giant fan of. So they did Unity did some really dumb things. They tried to like retroactively apply fees to all of their developers, and then they wanted to charge a flat percentage runtime fee for everyone that created a game using the Unity game engine. Now, this had massive effects. Pretty much the entire executive suite at Unity has been let go over this. They have changed things. They've lost literally billions of dollars over this one. But at the point in time, Megacrit, they actually made this statement, and they said, "We have never made a public statement before. This is how badly you bleeped up." So yeah, Megacrit decided that they were going to move from Unity over to the Godot game engine, and they have actually done so. Now, interestingly enough, at the time, in the fallout of this, there was a bunch of companies that actually looked at the porting process, and 2 of them that were looking at moving from Godot over to Unity. Again, this was back in 2023, after the whole runtime fiasco. You're going to notice Megacrit, which is Slate Aspire 2. Well, they made a little demo game testing out Godot. It's an interesting read, by the way. I would highly recommend checking it out. They even actually released the game available for free, but this was a test to see if they could create a card game using Godot. They took about a week's time to do it. Again, highly recommend reading the blog. So they did a full documentation of what this process was like. We'll see that in just a second. And then another high-profile one that moved from Unity, completely ported everything over to the Godot game engine is, drum roll please, Road to Vostok. So yeah, this is giving you an idea of what development time is for games these days. So this was back at the end of 2023. Here we are at the beginning of 2026, and those two titles that went from Unity are now starting to show up in the app stores, having been fully developed in Godot. So very interesting. On top of that, we also had AppLovin launch Project Unifree, which I think actually dead and died. But if you're interested, those two companies moved over. I don't think Caves of Quad actually did move over. He started porting a lot of the code, but I don't think he fully committed. Not 100% certain on that one. So anyways, if you want to read more, they did a really good documentation on why they picked out Godot, what they went through in the process of porting over to see if it would work for them, what they liked, what they didn't, etc. It is an interesting read. I would recommend checking that one out. But now we move on to today's news. They are paying it forward. Now, they were paying it forward all along. So back in, again, 2023, shortly after they moved over, Slate Aspire developers said they were moving over to Godot, and they also came in at a gold tier sponsor level. So they actually put their money where their mouth is. They, again, a minimum of $1,500 a month donation over to the Godot Foundation. So make a successful game, pay it forward. I like to see this. Now, we've got today, after they have shipped their title, Godot just tweeted, "We would like to thank Megacrit for another year of sponsorship. This time they upgraded to a corporate platinum. We were supposed to post this earlier, but we were all busy playing Slate Aspire 2. And again, I have to warn you, it really is that addictive. So, if you're wondering what exactly that means, well, here, this is the Godot Foundation page. They are currently in this area, along with W4 Games, which was formed by a bunch of the developers from Godot, JetBrains, Megacrit, and a guy named Mike Klubninka. I'm not sure on that one. And then we got the corporate sponsors, etc. Now, you've been wondering, okay, what exactly does it mean? Well, you can find that out here. And you'll see corporate tier means at least 36,000 euro a year going towards the Godot Foundation. So basically it pays for about a half a developer full-time salary there. So that is really cool to see. They got this new corporate sponsorship there. Again, we go back over, as we do have some titles that were shipped, created using the Godot game engine. Again, Brotato, Cassette Beast, Dome Keeper, Cruelty Squad are some of the best known, I guess you could say. But now we've just added two, and those are both Steam bestsellers in the form of Slate Aspire 2 and then, of course, Road to Vostok. Both have launched. Nice to see them paying it forward. I'm curious, what do you think? Is Godot's profile getting higher from this? I think there's no question there, to be honest, but it does give you an idea just how long these titles take to actually make it to market. But that is the high, there's no question. Slate Aspire 2 is the highest profile shipped Godot title, and it's also really damned good. All right, let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.